Wake up now. Welcome back. I'm Mel, your mentor for consciousness development. And this message could not be more important and more serious. It's time to wake up. We have to start opening our eyes. We have to start to wake up. And we have to start thinking for ourselves again, or maybe for the first time in this lifetime. Because if we don't, now consciousness needs to develop, right, and evolve, and it will, even on this planet, even if it doesn't look like it. But how it happens and how fast it happens is up to us. And we actually have to start thinking that we play an active role in the consciousness development on the planet. And it starts with us and our own consciousness. And too many are still asleep. Now, there's never anything wrong. It's not too many, and it's not that we have to wake up. You can stay asleep for as long as you want to. But if we want this journey into new consciousness, into a humanity we want to be proud of, to be a part of it, if we want this to be a more pleasant journey, a less painful journey, and maybe a less prolonged journey, then it is absolutely necessary that we wake up. And what do I mean by wake up? I mean, look at things, not the way you have been trained to look at things, but the way you view them from a neutral or broader perspective. The problem is, the difficulty is, and this is what many of you who have been asleep till now are facing, and who possibly wonder what the heck is she thinking about. But please stay with me, especially if you have been believing in this matrix, if you have been living in the world where things are just the way they are and there's nothing I can do about it and this is just how things work. Well, no. Listen to my words and maybe feel them. Why is it time to wake up, and what does it actually mean? The system we live in right now is one we have trained to view in a certain way. We have been trained to view in a certain way because we have been conditioned, we have been socialized here, we have been brought up here, right, on this planet in these systems. And we have been taught as young children, you believe what the adults are saying. And when we grow up, if we don't start to change our child's perspective, our inner child's perspective on things, and start questioning the adults and start questioning the ones who have come here before us, the ones who have been playing the games, the ones who have set up the setup. If we actually just take the setup and say, right, what is my part in it? You tell me what my role is. You tell me the player that I get to play. And maybe you give me some illusion as to what I can choose, maybe professionally or whatever. But in the end, I pay the taxes. I play by the rules. I do whatever you say because you have been here before me, and you get to tell me what to do. If we do not move out of this childish consciousness, we will have a rough ride moving forward on this planet. And we see this everywhere right now. Things would be so much easier if more people would wake up more quickly. And this is why I'm making a video like this. To invite you, invite everybody to become brave enough to actually start questioning those who have come before us, those who are saying this is the game and these are the rules that you have to play by. Because we're all in this together. And if we do not start to question, and if we do not start to think for ourselves again, it's a very doomy future ahead for quite some time. Now, consciousness is evolving, and it will, but it doesn't have to be as dark and as difficult as certain timelines are showing it, that there might be possibility for it to become really difficult. It doesn't have to be. But this means that we need to wake up. So because we're still part of the system. If we have been asleep until now, or even if we're awake, we're still in part of the system and systems, right? And it's always very difficult, even when you look at your family system, when you're in the dynamics, in the middle of the dynamics, and you don't know any different. You think this is the way things are, and it's very difficult to see them then for what they are. Only when you come outside, get outside, and this is why many young adults then see their family dynamics. They couldn't see them. They experienced them, but they couldn't see them while they were in it. But once they move out of the house and get a job and move away, then they see what has been going on for 20 years from the outside. And they get to make sense of it. And then they get to choose whether they want to continue with certain parts of the family dynamics or not, or whether they want to distance themselves. So the difficulty is first that we need to step out of our conditioning. But this means we need to realize how we have been conditioned. And I'm going to give you now a method, a little strategy that will help you to come out of your conditioned set of beliefs, just to look at them. It doesn't mean you have to throw them overboard because they're all wrong. Who knows? But you need to find out what is right and what is wrong. We need to find out what the truth is and what we actually want. And so how do we do this? Not only do we do it by starting to question everything that they, and by they I mean whoever has the power, whoever has the financial resources, whoever has the wealth, whoever has the information resources, the media resources to put out information, whoever has the possibilities to govern or to rule, all of those. This is who I mean by they, right? And whoever has interests in their own power, their own wealth, all of those, we need to start to question that. Everything and everyone in that category. Now I'm throwing them all into one bowl because we need to question everything and everyone, first of all, right? Which also means, practically, you need to start to question everything you're being fed through the media. And now I'm not saying, I mean all media. Because people have not been trained to look at the source of the information and to look behind the source of the information at the intention of the information. There is an intent behind every news headline you're getting. And what we see now in the system in the world, it's not an equality system, right? We can all agree on this. There is a hierarchy. There is an elite, there is government, there is leadership, there is financial wealth institutions, there are organizations, technological organizations, and so on, businesses who are ruling. And then there are the non-rulers, like the herd of sheep, okay? And the herd of sheep, they're the ones who need to wake up. Us, we need to wake up. And you can hear I'm very passionate about this because it's such a crucial and important time now. We need to start to question what we're being fed every day. Because no, we're not being fed the truth, and no, we're not being fed even neutral information. Because what becomes more and more obvious, and this is what is very hard to realize for everybody who is awake, they know how hard it is to realize that the world that they have grown up in and that they thought was real is not. And that it's not actually the case that leadership is acting on our behalf and for our own good. It is the opposite. In many cases, it is the opposite. We're not safe because of them. It's not that they make us safe. And we need to realize and recognize that though. Now the thing is, we're still in the system. So if you watch the news, listen something, read something that you're being fed. From now on, in order to find your own truth, because your intuition, your wisdom knows what's behind it. You know already, but you need to find that inner voice again that you've been conditioned into ignoring. So start to question everything you read. And I'm actually in this strategy of how to become more aware of what's going on. Don't just question everything you read and hear and you're supposed to believe and you're supposed to adopt as a way of thinking, but disbelieve everything that the media and the ones behind the media wanting you to believe, wanting you to think, wanting you to do. Start to disbelieve everything as if it weren't true. As if everything was a lie. Now, I'm not saying everything is a lie, but change your viewpoint. Now, from one extreme, I believe what they're saying, to I disbelieve everything I'm being told, because I am on the path of starting to think for myself again. And in the disbelieving, I don't believe this, I don't believe that, then it's like, but what do I believe, right? Then we're left with question marks. And this is a good thing now. Most people don't want question marks. They want certainty. So it's like, tell me what's going on in Ukraine? All right, that's it. What is happening there? Okay, yeah, I know. And what should I do in order to save energy? Right, okay, so I'll do that. So they take what's being said and follow that because this is how they have been trained. But we need to grow up. We're no longer little children. And as long as we behave like little kids, we're controllable. And this is what's happening. This is the setup in the world is one of control. The setup in the world is one of certain people have all the freedoms and the others don't. The vast majority doesn't have the freedom and the autonomy. But it is up to every single one of us. There's no point in complaining. They should give us more freedom. No, it's about us owning our freedom because we are freedom. We're divine beings. We are boundless, limitless, energetic, spiritual beings. And we need to own that again. And we need to come back into our power. And claiming our freedom, our autonomy. But this cannot happen as long as we're living in a consciousness of a childlike state, where we're waiting for somebody wiser, bigger, more powerful to tell us what to do and what to believe and what to think and what not to think. Start thinking for yourself again. Because the more people do, the more souls that are waking up, the less controllable the sheep become. And I say sheep because it has this herd feeling to it. This meh, 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 yeah, I follow the shepherd. No. We need to become autonomous again. In order for humanity to evolve, we need to find the path back to sense, like common sense, to wisdom, to love, to authentic power within ourselves, not an external power that exerts power over someone else, that manipulates in order to gain something from it, but authentic power that rests within our own autonomy of being boundless, unconditional love and compassion and connectedness. If we are that, we have a beautiful humanity, but we need to embody that, and we cannot embody it as long as we stay in fear. And whatever messages are out there, if they cause fear in you, they do exactly what they intend to do, because when you feel fear, you're controllable. When you feel fear, someone has power over you, and they're using it. They're using it. So we need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to start to question everything and actually to disbelieve everything. And then with a clean slate, we don't believe anything. We walk the path and go on the quest of finding the truth. Within means with the connectedness of the broader field of the universe, of the wider consciousness, because the consciousness field or the unified field has the truth, has everything in it. And this is where we find our true, powerful path. So it is the job of every single one of us to wake up and to start thinking again. We have to think again for ourselves. And I know I'm repeating myself in this, but I cannot say it often enough. Because many people think they're thinking for themselves, but they don't. They were made to believe or taught to believe that they're thinking for themselves, but they're only repeating thoughts that they're being fed or have been fed for many, many years. So the job is to look inside and see, where have I been conditioned and how? Where have I been programmed and how and by whom? And do they really have my best interest at heart? Is this what I'm experiencing? Is this what I'm seeing? And is this what I'm feeling in my heart? And for most of you, when you wake up, the answer will be no. No, the rulers, whoever they are right now, do not have my best interest at heart. Quite the opposite. And the more I live in fear, the more they can control me. The more they take resources away, the more they can control me. And why do I still listen to them? What in me cannot let go of this? I need to hold on to a bigger parent figure or to a government who looks after me. Why am I afraid? What makes me afraid of stepping into my own power, of growing up? It's time to grow up, dear souls. To wake up and to grow up, and we can do it. Once you learn to stand on your own 2 feet, you will see their brothers and sisters who are already standing, who already think for themselves, who do not take any BS any longer. Now, they don't turn against the world, because the next step is you develop wisdom. And in that wisdom, you see that everything is perfect the way it is, even with all this chaos, and even with all this oppression, and even with all the systems that are not helpful to humanity, that are in place right now. It's perfect. And your wisdom will see that. You will not have to rage against anything, because you will see why it's there, and you will see how it helps the growth and the development and the waking up process. And you will see the different dynamics that are going on in perfect harmony and setup, or disharmony and setup. It's perfect. So there is no reason then to rage against anything, because you will see it. But what you need to do is own your power again, to free yourself from anyone who tries to bind you, and live this autonomy and freedom and love and excitement and limitless power, because true power is internal and it's without limit. We are unlimited beings, and once we discover that again, whatever happens out there can no longer trigger us into behaving the way certain organizations or people want us to behave, because we decide for ourselves. And now it's time to decide for ourselves. It's time. If we don't, the path to waking up, the path to consciousness development will be rougher and will be harder. Now, still, we will develop, but we don't have to go through certain hardships. If we say, okay, I'm going to be brave enough to open my eyes and open my heart to the truth, and cut the ties with the matrix, and cut the ties with the beliefs that I've held for so long that have kept me safe in this world. Because the truth is, once you wake up and you see this is all an illusion, and so much of the stuff that we have believed are actually quite the opposite of what we have been told, there is a disillusionment and disappointment that is going to take place for most people anyway, and you need to let go of the old vision of the world you knew. And there can be grief with it, and there can be sorrow and uncertainty, but that's okay too, because it is for the next step of your own evolution, of your own consciousness expansion, that you're letting go of the old. It's okay. You can still treasure your old world and how you have felt in it and how it has been for you, even though you see it was all lies and illusion. It's okay. You can still treasure how you have experienced it while you were in your cocoon of not knowing certain things. But then also be ready to grow up. It's like, Santa Claus. When you find out Santa Claus, not so real, it's like treasure still the memories of childhood when you thought Santa Claus was real. It's not like, oh, well, this was all a lie. It's okay to still treasure and love these innocent experiences, these unknowing experiences, because there was a certain kind of magic in it. And a lot of us feel that too. Our old world was a magical world because when we didn't see what we see now, we didn't have those issues. We thought it was the way we were told it was, the way it presented itself to us. And that's okay. You can still treasure that. You don't have to throw it all in the bin. But then also, when you have the maturity, grow up. Be the adult. Be self-reliant. Think for yourself and then create for yourself. Create your own world. Create in terms of becoming an adult. Create your company. Create your job. Create your family. Create your life. Create your travel. Create. But for that, you need to be you, independent of all the conditioning. If you truly want to create what wants to come out of you and not replicate and repeat what has been created and what you have been told needs to be replicated. Okay? Let me know if this is helpful. We're in this together. It's time to wake up and we can do it. I'm going to love you and leave you for today, and we'll talk again next time if you want to.